The games are coming thick and fast, and United face West Ham in the next game in the Premier League on Sunday. Now, Ruben Amorim has spoken to the press just in time for the game against West Ham, and basically Manchester United prepared to host West Ham again at Old Trafford, obviously another home game, in the final Premier League home game of the season. Basically, Ruben Amorim addressed the press at Carrington, offering a measured and deeply introspective update on the mood inside the club, with the Europa League final against Tottenham on the horizon. Amorim's tone struck careful balance between acknowledging the present challenges and laying the groundwork for the future. I mean, this wasn't a defiant manager dismissing criticism. He's always very honest and always says things straight up. But it was a thoughtful, honest leader who is fully aware of where he is and where his team stands. And they've also accomplished this United team has accomplished, where this United team has fallen short, and what is still possible, especially with this team. Now, one of the first things he said in the press conference is with regards to the squad and its evolution. And he said, and obviously this section is squad evolution will take time. Amorim was asked about the weakness he's referenced in the past with post-match interviews and all of that, especially following the win over Lyon, and whether he could elaborate on the characteristics of his squad that his squad currently lacks. His answer was very revealing without being too specific, right? He said, no, I will not share too much, but you can understand the characteristics. When I say characteristics, it is the players that play more inside than outside, even the foot, right? Now, this wasn't just a coach speak. Amorim gave an example. Garnacho, who played as a right 10 against Lyon, would ideally be left-footed for that position, which also would significantly change United's attacking dynamics. He also alluded to the need for wingers who are more offensively minded. Players capable of attacking first, not merely tracking back. Now, the message was clear. Amorim wants players who are fit, very specific, and who fit very specific profiles to execute his ideas, right? But this won't just be solved in one transfer window, and this long-term rebuild obviously is what the Portuguese tactician is very keen on, but not rushing it. He's not willing to rush with regards to the rebuild of the team. But he was very specific and very detailed about, but not willing to share much, but very detailed about what he's looking for when it comes to characteristics of the team and all of that. Then, obviously, in the next section, he was asked about match fitness and injury risks. And with the Europa League final just days after the domestic campaign concludes, one of the major topics was player rotation. Would stars like Bruno Fernandes and Harry Maguire be wrapped in cotton wool ahead of the Bilbao game? That was my thoughts after in the match and in the 5 things we learned. Amorim's philosophy: match sharpness matters, but so does risk management, right? They will play because sometimes it's better to play. What I will protect is the players that can get an injury. And he said it because obviously it showed when Bruno missed one game. He struggled the first half a little bit because, match rhythm and all of that continues over time. If he had played maybe like the last 10-20 minutes of the game against Brentford, you probably would have had that same match rhythm and fitness to play the first leg properly. But it was okay. He still caught up with it and created a magnificent assist for what's his name, Casemiro. But Bruno, who stayed fit all season, will feature in the final league matches. But Maguire, who has dealt with niggles, will be managed more cautiously. That's what Amorim has said. Amorim also referenced the advantage of the Chelsea game being moved to Friday, giving the team extra recovery time for the final in Spain, right? Which was also good. It was moved from Sunday to Friday or something, just to give us more time to recover. He made it clear these games matter for rhythm, for morale, and for internal competition, which is pretty much straightforward. And then with regards to the post-season tour in Asia, it is a club obligation, obviously, but he was also asked about the club's decision to embark on a post-season tour of Asia, a choice some might have seen as disruptive and untimely. but he responded with maturity, recognizing the commercial and the emotional dimensions to the tour. I mean, he says we need to help the club. The club wins some more money, and we are also going to connect with our fans around the world, and this is important, especially when we lose and we disappoint our supporters during this tough season. Now, he confirmed that all the senior players will travel as well as youth team prospects, with the trip doubling as a bonding experience for the squad that has undergone major changes, right? Both on the pitch and in the back room. Amorim isn't just coaching a team, he's trying to build a culture, one that includes the fans. And yeah, obviously his club obligations and all of that, but he's, basically just backing the club and backing the decision, and just for commercial purposes in it. So let's just keep building. And then the next thing was with regards to competition for final places, which is intensifying. So competition for final places intensifying within the team and in the squad. And with just 3 league matches left before the showdown in Bilbao, Amorim was asked how intense training would be. Would it be full throttle competition for a place in the final 11? His answer was a blend of realism and caution. Of course, they will fight for their places. This is what Amorim said. They will be really excited, and that is a good thing, right? However, he was quick to point out that players no longer need heavy training loads, not at this stage of the season. He's clearly aiming for high motivation with managed physical strain, keeping his players fresh and hungry without risking unnecessary injuries. It's a balancing act, basically, that many managers get wrong. Amorim seems determined not to. He's very, very specific and very, very calculated in the way he approaches things like these. And then the next one was with regards to the Premier League. And he said, the Premier League still matters, but the focus is clear. One of the more pointed questions put to him addressed the perception that United are now all in on the Europa League, with the risk that domestic form has suffered as a result. And yes, former captain Roy Keane has been keenly highly critical, right, of the performances of the league, suggesting that too many players have mentally switched off. Ruben Amorim didn't dodge the criticism. In fact, he accepted it outright. I agree, we can do better, right? That's what Amorim says. He said we deserve it, but if we cannot accept everything in this kind of season, we are in the wrong business. That is a very smart and mature response, very honest, very diplomatic, and very straightforward. Not really, delving into greater detail. This kind of accountability is rare, and that is why when they shoot pointed questions at him, it's very difficult to catch him off guard, right? Especially in this modern football. Amorim admitted that some of the players may have mentally drifted during the Brentford game, already thinking about Europe, but he reiterated a key message. He says, we are Manchester United. We need to win games, also in the Premier League. Now, the final may define the season, but these last 3 games still matter. They are tests, not just of tactics, but of mentality, right? And then basically, just to close this all out, closing thought, this manager is in transition and this club is at crossroads, but also the club is building. Now, there was no scapegoating. Ruben Amorim didn't promise a perfect finish or try to spin the league form into something it isn't. What did he offer? What did he offer to the press? It was perspective, an understanding of the season. I mean, for all the ups and downs, it was more about the ups and downs than just spilling out words and all of that. It's more than just here and now. It's more of a rebuilding thing. It's about building an identity for the club. It's about accepting criticism, protecting his players, and subtly outlining the kinds of footballers that he needs to evolve this team. Amorim showed once again that he's not just preparing for a final. He's laying the groundwork for something that is longer lasting, basically, right? But first, we have to face West Ham. Then we have to face Chelsea, and then finally we have to face Aston Villa before Bilbao. But I think the game between Chelsea and Villa is Bilbao. then Villa is just kind of like the season closer and all that. And that's where the season will be judged. However, the season has been poor, as everybody has agreed. And you cannot beat a dead horse, neither can you beat a man who's down. So you have to just basically go with it. And Amorim has accepted it, and that is what it is. So we have to build from here, and we have to move to the next one. So let me know your thoughts and feelings about what Amorim has said. Your opinion counts. Hit the comment section, hit the like button, and tell me what you think about Ruben Amorim and what he said with regards to the press conference ahead of the West Ham game. And I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. Do not forget to hit the notification bell as well, so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Hit the comment section and let's have a conversation and converse about this. Subscribe to the channel so we can actually grow together and build something. We're reaching a milestone pretty soon. So subscribe, like, share, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.